Hey, how's it going? Today is day 1 of 2. My client is flying in from Sydney to sit 2 days back to back on his inner arm. So today we're going to be doing a gorilla on the inner forearm, and then tomorrow we're going to be doing a big old bear on the inner bicep. We're just going to try and smash out as much as we can. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a big day. It's going to be a big 2 days, but it should be fun. So yeah, with that being said, let's get over to the studio and get it going. Alright, so here is the full concept of what we're doing. We got the bear and we got the gorilla. Super cool. So keen to get into this one. So yeah, let's get all set up and get it going. So as always, I'm going to be using the Emalla Grand, but I'm also going to be loading up my Inkjecta Flite Nano. Just because I want some areas to be a lot softer, so I'm going to give that a go. This is how I would send the concept to my client, but then when I go to stencil it, I will add a bit more of the actual animals, and then I'll sort of cut it out a little bit, but then I'll stencil it up, most likely towards that ear and blocking that other ear. So just in case we need to fill out the arm a bit more, you've got that there so that you can just, yeah, fill it all in. Excuse me, I'm trying to film my stencil.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Welcome back to another video. Getting straight into it using my Inkjecta. I actually end up using my Inkjecta for the whole thing because this machine used to be my daily, and I completely forgot how good of a machine it actually is. So I've actually found a new love all over again for this machine. So yeah, this is what we're starting off with. I'm using a 7-round liner to block in all the leaves first, and then I'll go back through with my 9-round shader and go in between all the gaps with just my solid black and just fade it out from there. I am using my critical wireless batteries for this one, running it on 10 volts, which I know that might sound crazy high, but the machine itself is only, I think, 2.4 stroke. So I'll run it a lot higher and I can still manage to get it a lot softer, but then also get it as detailed or textured as I want. So usually in most of my videos I will go through and do all the different shades as I go, but in this case, because the gorilla is quite dark, I'm going to be using my black tones first and then I'll build up my mid to light tones from that. That way I can also get a good idea of where the light source actually sits and make sure that I'm not going too dark to begin with. So you'll actually see in this video, if you haven't already, I've been using my 7-round shader for actually most of this tattoo, and that is just because the gorillas have a lot of fine wispy hairs. So this sort of allows me to create the individual little hairs as opposed to using a mag or even a 9-round shader. You can achieve the same texture with a smaller mag, but I just prefer the harder lines when it comes to this part of the gorilla's chin. And then I'll go back through with my mid and light tones to sort of create those different levels of layers of fur. So with the wrinkles in the face, similar to the textures in the chin, I'm still using my 7-round liner, and I'm just going to give these edges a harder sort of line rather than just sort of shading it in. Because I'm going to leave them quite open, I think having the heavy blacks underneath it help to sort of contrast against the light source that is coming from the top of it. And then I'll only go through and add like a mid-tone or middle light tone to them, but nothing too crazy. I still want to keep some skin in there. So now that I've finally switched to a mag, I'm using a 9-round, no I'm not. I'm using a 9 curved mag by Kwadron. I started using them again the other week. At first I didn't like them with the Emalla Grand, but actually coming back to using my Inkjecta, I've actually found a new love for Kwadrons all over again. Even though I still do prefer the Emalla needles, but the Kwadrons do work really well. Only problem with them is that they're so expensive. So because the gorilla in the reference photo is really high contrast, I'm not going to go too overboard with my light tones in this one. Okay, so day 2 we have the bear on the inner bicep. Now day 1 session is super swollen and irritated, so I want to be as gentle as possible for my client. Even though he says that he is feeling fine, I am almost certain that this is going to be a super sensitive area. Not to mention being the second day in a row. So similar sort of thing to the gorilla, I'm starting off with my 7-round liner, and I end up using this for quite a bit of it, but I do switch to a 13 curved mag for a lot of the fur textures. I didn't actually end up capturing as much as I wanted in the video on day 2, just because I knew this was going to be a super sensitive area. My customer would not say, but I could tell he was feeling it a bit, which is totally understandable. There's no way in hell I would sit 2 days back to back. So yeah, I tried to capture at least the main bits that I wanted to go over. So as always with most of my other videos, I'm using my 9-round shader to do the white highlights. Still using my Inkjecta, but I believe I'm running it on about 9 volts instead of 10. Just so I can sort of pack it in the skin without as much irritation as possible, especially being down near where the parts join from the first day. So as you'll be able to see, especially in the inner bicep, it is super irritated. It's all bloody, even in the white. So as always, we'll give it a good clean down, let it settle for a little bit, and then it is photo time.